Yeah, I live in hell that is liberalism. When in the belly of the beast, the belly of Lizable, live miserable, Lizable, taken to its logical conclusion. A cop, one of the protectors of us, the new centurions who protect us from the barbarian hordes, has been jailed for 8 years for throwing a icebox at a vicious, murderous drug pusher who was poisoning the community. This is justice in the liberal world. They want to make an example to the other cops. It's bad enough we don't have any cops who want to be cops no more, but it's incredible. It's incredible. Right now we are in the midst of a Marxist takeover of the city, which they're going to turn this place into Detroit or San Francisco. Well, this will not stand. This goes too far. That man, that noble man who did in a bad guy, a parasite on the community, is going to be in jail, probably under protection, if possible, or they might kill him. Who knows? Who knows what the liberals are capable of? Many of these liberal judges, these activist judges, and when I say activist, they're like poison activism, have no army backing them up. Maybe a few little whistleblowers from the dippy days of the 1960s. These are what you call your rich Marxists. I dare to say anybody who watches for the liberal cause is probably upper middle class, upper Marxist middle class. They go to the fancy colleges, be taught communist indoctrination and gay agendaism. Ain't gonna work now. I'm talking about leftist gay agenda. This woman in Canada, which is the logical conclusion of our country, even if we stop them. She says she's an indigenous, she had a big name for herself. And that was what she identified as. She identified as a lunatic, is what she identified as. This whole transgender agenda has to stop now. And the only man who can stop it is Mr. Biden. This replacement, Mr. Trump. Yeah, it's true. It's a very true fact. Trump bash him for making an illegal law, a war, I should say. It's not illegal to go blow up the infrastructure of an enemy country. We did it during World War II. What are we doing? You gotta destroy the infrastructure or they keep on going. We got Iran selling oil and closing the Straits of Hormuz. Or should I say the Straits of Drumpy? That's what we should rename it once we clear the decks of all these vicious bastards. It's a death cult. And we're going to give them missiles. We're going to give them atomic weapons to destroy poor Israel, who's entitled to that land by holy right of the Jesus Christ and superstar. Come on. That place was given to the Jews because of Jesus going to come back there. And the end times is maybe going to happen there. I don't think the end times. A lot of times will be ended there, but not the end times, not the holy real. That's when Satan comes back and he tries to take over the world, the Antichristy. And then a big battle happens between the forces of good and the forces of evil. That means the bad guys are going to lose. They're going to be thrown into the fiery pit. That's true, Mr. Satan, bad guy. Don't sign any contracts with him. No. And this is what they're trying to do with my Miss Vice President, Mr. President's wife. She's a beautiful woman, the most beautiful woman who ever was the first lady. Now, Michelle Obama, no, I would say she's the strongest lady lady, whoever most bitter and the most angry of the president's wives. But she is not the most beautiful or the most stylish. And in spite of what the people at Vogue say or Vogue hate, she don't want to acknowledge the beauty that is Miss Trump, but they'll acknowledge the questionable agenda of Miss Obama. Oy, oy, oy. Obama. And Biden. That babe hasn't been good looking in 40 years. She used to be a looker when she whored up to Mr. Biden. Then cheated on her husband and all that stuff. Who knows what goes on there? Now that he's a vegetable. Let me tell you something. Says to stop. War is now we gotta get on NATO. They didn't come through us. We're supposed to protect them against the Soviets, and they're not even democracies anymore. They don't have freedom of speech. If you don't have freedom of speech, what are we defending you for? No. And letting the radical Muslims overrun their countries. We got a second Muslim invasion, and they're turning over and they're giving the whole country to them. First off, you get rid of the radicals. Throw them out. Throw them out if they go against your country. Secondly, you don't cater to the radicals. They come in, they started talking against your country, and they're talking against your people and start raping, murdering, and killing. Out they go, but not before you shoot them and send the bodies back home. That's what you should do. They would never put up with this sort of stuff before World War II. People knew what to do when people were out of line like that. Now the only people who get away with it are the third world bastards. Well, let me tell you something, third world bastards. You're not going to get away on Trumpies. Uh, Trumpy's not going to let you. Trumpy. Yeah, we got to blow up everything in Iran. Just blow it up and then we rebuild. Rebuild. It'll take a little time. And we'll also supply the Iranian population, or I should say the Persian people, who want to rebel against that mullah mala mess for weaponry. And they'll throw those bastards out. Between our military situation there, what we can do and not, in terms of supporting them, we can all overthrow them and save the Iranian people from the Iranian government. That's what we should do. That's in my opinion. I stance. ISIS, yeah, ISIS is a good stance. They gotta throw out all the illegals. You know what the judge said? Our Supreme Court judge, and who's an Indian? She said that they wouldn't understand how we should let the Iranians, the illegals have free reign in this country. 20 million of them. 20 million invaders. No. You gotta be legal, my friend. Legal evil. That's the story. 100% illegal or you get out. And you come back when you want to do things the right way and when you want to swear loyalty to the United States of America. And as for those civil liberty bastards, look, they wanted the Bolsheviks in here in 1900. They were like, these guys wanted to violently overthrow the government. And they were formed in order to help commies stay in the country. Commies. J. Hoovy, between cross-dress and kicked them out. Well, he should have. Oh, you bastards. Walker's cheap and police isn't. Right now, we get a commie mayor whose only thing is to bash the Jews and have his friends beat up Jewish people and making a free reign on free punches on the Jews, and also bashing cops, undermining the police who are only friends, our protectors, and they're being undermined. And the criminal element is running rampant, which is liberalism. Liberalism is chaos. It's chaos. It has to stop. Oh, by Mr. Biden's son, the junkie. Now he doesn't. He's saying he can't do things. He wants to make money. Oh, he's poor. He can't pay his high-priced lawyers no more because they all got his grafts coming in from the foreign lands. Biden is no longer president, and the junkie is disgraced entirely. He's embarrassing to the Democratic Party. They'd rather forget about the fact that we were 4 years under the Biden dictatorship and of graft and corruption and chaos. Yeah, poor Hunter. Poor Hunter. The U.S. needs to finish the job on the Iranian government. And we can rebuild the infrastructure later on. Because we can. That's what we should do. Uh, where NATO, we don't need to be on NATO anymore. Russians could barely get through Ukraine, let alone all those other countries. You don't need to defend them no more. We don't need to have a military presence in Europe. Because Europe, according to the Europeans, is no longer free. England is a bastion of political correctness and no for freedom of speech. They have practically given their cities over to the most radical, vicious people, anti-American, anti-imperialist, anti-European element. Throw them out. And the English people are going to rise up against because the English are pretty tough. They're going to put to sleep, but they're going to do it. They're going to do it. I'm telling you. Stole for free, but we can't let the cult of death have a billion, one atomic bomb to blow up Israel. Israel will fight back. You know what that's going to do. My stance. My stance on ICE is 100% supportive. We get rid of those unsightly people. Jail. It's true. Yeah. Let's see. Is this really good thing? Yeah, look at me. I look good. Yeah, do look good. Oh, yeah, that's enough. Enough. I got things to do, people to see. Listen, we're gonna liberate the Kelly Feeney from the liberal power structure and meaningful. There you go. Goodbye.